Hi guys, I hope you're doing absolutely amazing so far. Welcome to this course on Swift UI. In this video, we will just start off with understanding the UI components and modifiers, just to get some sort of familiarity with what is Swift UI after all, and then we'll jump to other further advanced topics in upcoming videos. So we'll start off with understanding text, image, and padding, some sort of modifiers that we can apply on text and images. So let's get started. So here in this file, I've named it SwiftUI EX, for example. And here I have mentioned we are going to talk about views and modifiers. So views like text, image, button, shapes, and modifiers, common modifiers, basically something which you can apply on text as well, image as well, button, shapes. So frame, padding, overlay, alignments are some of the few modifiers. View hierarchy and structure is what we will understand by creating separate structures or extracting the views. Image and icons, we'll talk about SF symbols. We can create an image using SF symbols as well. Or we can take a look at, uh, or we can just create the image using asset sets catalog. From there, we can pick any image and just load this into the UI. We'll talk about rendering mode and resizing the images. Initialization of the structure, where we can initialize the structure or the view with the property, things like that. And enum driven UI customization, we are not going to take a look at this one at the moment. Let's just talk about custom view initializers. So here we have the content view, and we have a lot of things in here. I'm going to comment all of it for now. Just going to keep this one, and we have to put some sort of view in it, so I'll just put a text. You can see on the preview it is just a simple hello keyword. It's a text, and what we're going to do is, this is a component just like that. We'll talk about further a few more components and what modifier we can apply on it. So here, the modifiers, you can see we have an image component. Upon that, we are applying a lot of modifiers. And just like that, we have another image with system, that is the SF symbol heart, and some modifiers on it. We have a button which has two closure. Here, when you click on the button, this closure gets executed. Label is for giving a UI to your button. So we can give a text with some modifiers on it. And that is just an idea on what view and then modifier looks like. So let's gain understanding a bit more like this. We can give it some font. So we have options like large title, title, headline, title 2, and so on. If we give it large title, it will appear like large title. If we just give it a title, then it will get a slightly smaller. We can give it captions as well. We have caption 2. Caption looks quite small, and we have headline. So we have multiple ways to give it. The font, we can give it font weight dot bold, so it will appear bold. Let me give it large title, and it is appearing bold at the moment. If you don't give this modifier, it will appear like this, but if we make it bold, it will make it just bold. We have more options like semi-bold, medium, heavy, light, regular, black, regular, thin. If you make it thin, it will appear like this. And we can give it frame. So we have frame with parameters with height, alignment, and this is the another one with a lot many parameters. So let's use this one. So what I'm going to do is just give it width of 100, height of 200, and alignment at center. So let's not use alignment at the moment, just to keep things simple. So when we gave it a frame, we cannot really see it, but if I make it 10 and 20, you can see there is a frame, but the text is too large to fit in the frame. So let's create the frame slightly bigger, that is 100 by 200. And to see the frame, we can let me just comment this, and let just show you that there is something known as background where we can mention the color, and our text goes through the font, returns the view, and that view goes as an input for font weight, and it returns another view, and with the thin weight, and that view goes as input for another modifier, and that applies the right color in the background and gives you that. And you can apply padding before that, let's say 10, and it will add a space around the hello on all the sides, leading, trailing, up and down. And if you want only the padding on the top, then you can mention it like this, and only top there is a padding after the title. And the padding is something that returns the view um, where the title or the text is there with the large title and the thin font weight. After the padding, whatever the output is, output of this code, that goes as an input for this modifier, and we are applying background color to it. That's why when we add padding and then background color, the background color is getting applied to the padding as well. But if we apply the background color first and then apply padding, you will see the background color is not applied on the padding now. And just like that, we should give frame before we give the background color. So let's give it some frame, and you can see the background color got applied on the frame. So there was text with the frame view written by this piece of code that goes as an input for background, and we apply the red color on it. Padding, after that we are applying, we cannot see it, so maybe let's remove this or bring it here before the frame. We can give padding some different color. Let's give it orange, and you can see this is the padding. So this is the text with the tab font title, weight, padding, and then the background color on it. That goes as an input, and after the frame is applied, we receive an output that goes as an input for background red color. So this is how a view and a modifier really work. The order really matters here. The frame, if you are applying the frame in the end like this, it gives you a different output. So the order really matters a lot, and we have to um, give or produce that output that we are actually desiring for. Now let's talk about more components like text. For example, image. We'll talk about button shapes as well. So image, we can just use the keyword image like this, and here we have to mention the name of the image. So in the asset, I have already brought one image and gave it asset image, that's the name, and we are just going to copy the name of it and mention it here, and the image will appear like this. Now we can decide the rendering mode, that is, we want to keep it original or not. So the original appears like this, and even if you do not apply the modifier, it appears exactly the way original image is looking. You can apply resizable so that it is ready to get resized. Now you can apply scale to fit or scale to fill modifiers like this, so it will fit the screen. or you can apply scale to fill, so it will fill the whole screen with the image as much as possible. And we can also give it a frame, so let me give it a scale to fit, or let's not do that, maybe give it a frame. And so when you write this, we have two options, and we want the parameters also to be arrived. So just press option key and then enter, and it will give you all the parameters ready for you to give inputs. So let's give it width 200, height 100, and alignment. If we talk about alignment, let's not give any alignment at the moment. And we can see our image got a frame now. So if I give it height 400, so there is a frame. Let's put a background color on it and let's see. So this is our frame. Let me give it some other color, green. That is our frame, but our image is not going to just scale according to that. If I give it scale to fill, maybe it will, but it won't. Scale to fit, it will stay as it is. So giving the frame does not really it's not mandatory that the image will try to fit into the frame, but it will make sure if you give any smaller frame, for example, height is just 50 and the width is just 100, then the frame is right behind but the image is appearing as it is. So if I give it resizable, it will be ready to get resized, and according to the frame it will adapt. Now if I give it 200, it will adapt to the frame. It will try to take as much as space possible for the image to take. And let me just give it, that is frame. I will comment this and I will give it scale to fit, and we can give it some padding or things like that. Let me give it, move this scale to fit here just for notes purpose. And we can take a look at something known as shadow and just give it some value. You can see the black uh, it is surrounded by black shadow, and we can explore one more modifier called opacity. So our text is appearing quite with a full opacity. If I give it opacity 0.3, then it will look transparent. If I give it 0.9, it will almost look completely. 1 is for showcasing it without any transparency. If you want some transparency, just give value from 0.1 to 0.9, and it will reduce the brightness, or say the opacity is going to be, or say it adds some sort of transparency. If you talk about clip shape, let's say we have our with the opacity 1. If I give it clip, then if I give it clip shape and I mention a shape here, circle, then it will clip the borders in the circle form. If I give it other shape like ellipse, it will make it ellipse. We'll explore shape more because we have a lot of shapes, about 4 to 5 shapes. And if we talk about overlays is another modifier. Let's say we have dot overlay, and here we will mention the content. Overlay is like another layer onto your view. So I will give it a image, and it will be a system image. We can give not only the asset image but system image as well. So here we can use the SF symbol. So I can give it heart.fill, and you can see a black heart appearing right here. I can give it some alignment as well, and it is something that goes in the parenthesis. And let's keep it bottom trailing or top trailing. So it will appear on the top and on the trailing side. And we can give it some size or font dot large title. So it will appear slightly bigger. It is looking like it is appearing over our circle. And that is what overlay really means. It's just another layer over a layer. And that is it. When we talk about image, we have seen all of these modifiers. And when we talk about the button, let's take a look at button. It's very simple. So button, and we have a lot many options to choose from. Let's go with action and label. So action is the closure that gets executed when you click on the button, and label is where you give a title of the button and how basically you want the button to look like. So when you click on the button, it will print button clicked, and in the label we can give it nice label button, and it will look like this, blue by default. We can give it some frame with 200 by 100 alignment. Now let's talk about alignment as well. Let's give it leading, and let's give a background color to our frame. So let's keep it brown. Now you will see the frame is 200 by 100, and the moment we give the alignment, whatever in the frame the component is, where do you want to place that component? Do you want to keep it in the center? So it will appear in the center. If you want to keep it trailing, it will appear on the right. If you want it in the left, go leading. And let's keep it center. So frame is all about keeping the content to which you are giving the frame, where the content should be actually be placed. And we can say clipped. Maybe it will clip the corners, but I think we will have to give it clip shape, and here we will mention rounded or rectangle, or what shapes, capsule maybe, and it looks like a button. And we can give it some foreground style as well. Let's give it black, and it looks like this. Let's give it some font, large title, and let's make it bold as well. So font weight should be bold. It's not really a good button, but it's a button. It will work. If you click on it, it will give you that effect that you are clicking on a button. And if you run this application, then when you click, it will just showcase here button clicked. Right now also it is saying, so let's click and it will say button clicked. And there's how easy it is to create button. And we have seen text, and yeah, underline, strike through, and italic are few other modifiers that we can apply. So let's create a text, second text, and apply this 3 on it. So strike through, we know it will just strike through the text. Italic will make it italic. So it looks italic. Let me give it large font. And sorry, 1 second. Now this second text is looking italic, and strike through it is creating that dash line, striking through the text, and underlining is giving it underline. And that's it. And let's talk about one special thing here. That is, we talked about the common modifiers, spreading overlay alignment, hierarchy, view hierarchy, and structure. So right now, our body, which is a computed property, read-only computed property, I'm going to just actually remove this whole commented code. And this is our variable body. So just a quick brief, we have a structure content view which conforms to the view, and we have the property which is a read-only computed property. So it's a computed property which is going to return view of some type. And inside here we have a lot of code. Let's refactor this code. So there are two ways to do it. Create more properties and name it. For example, here we have the text hello. We will just create another structure, text example view, make it conform to the view, create the body, and in here we will paste it, and I will remove it from here. And I can call my structure right here. Let's create the instance of it here like this. And that is one way to refactor. Now our code is moved to a structure separate with its name suggesting what is it there inside, what kind of view we have. And that is one way. Another way is take the view. You can take this much as well and just move it in other property. Right above here, we can create a property variable, computed property, just like this one, text and image example, and it should be of type some view. And in here, we will move our code, and let's remove it from here. And it says function declare an opaque type return type but has no return statement in its body. So if you fix it, it just talks about return. So it added a return. Well, let's create just view, and we no longer will return the image. Now this is some sort of problem. The problem is this variable that you have created, it's a computed property and it should be of type some view. Now the view you are going to return, it is expecting only one type of view. Either it should be text or either should be image. So what we can do is put it inside a v stack. And what will happen after that is there is no longer two views, only one view, that is vertical stack view. What vertical stack does is it creates the stack of your two views like this. And that is it. What we can do is just copy this and call it here. Since it's just a property, we just paste the property name. And you can see the image second text and the image, which is the asset image, these two are appearing one by one. And this is something we'll take a look at in the upcoming videos. The next video actually is all about vertical stack, horizontal stack, and Z stack. But if you give this stack a background color like this, then you can see here, let's give it some padding as well. I'm giving 10 padding to our vertical stack, which is holding both text and image. So you can see right now, this is our stack, the pink color, and that is it. So the issue is that when you are not utilizing vstack, there are two views you are returning, text and image. And the view builder is something we'll talk about in the series in near the end of the series actually. So in the upcoming videos near the end of the series, we'll talk about the add view builder that allows your closure to return multiple different types of views. Like here we have two different types of views, text and image, which our vertical stack allows. And all we need is we cannot just return multiple types of different views. So we have to put this inside vertical stack and call it a make it a single view first. And that's it. Now so we have seen two ways here. One is create a separate structure or create a computed property within the same structure. And that are the two ways to refactor the code a little bit. Let's move our button as well. And I will create another property. Put an example, confirm to the view, create, just paste our, we have to make it some type, and button example, paste it. And this reappears again. What more we can do is we can put this inside a horizontal stack, all our three views, and it will appear horizontally now. And this is our first text example view. Text and image is our second, which is appearing in vertical stack. You can see the text is first, image is second. The text is first, second text, and image is second. It's appearing in the vertical stack. And that is our text and image example, the pink background like with that. Button example is our button. So it's appearing in a horizontal way. So we can refactor in these two ways. And let's talk. We have seen using SF symbol, set catalog, rendering modes, resizing image, initialization, and enums. Actually, we'll just talk about initialization here. The initialization, let's say we have our text example view here and we are printing static value hello, but I want to print title, which is a property, so variable title of type string, which is initially having nothing in it, or say default title. And whenever you call this, here we are calling it, you will see when you call and create the instance, it will give the option to give the title. And here we can give custom title, and it is going to appear here. So this is just how we can initialize your structure as well and make the values dynamic as well, how much the frame you want and things like that. So our modifiers can actually have dynamic values. And that is it. That is just a quick brief on what SwiftUI and how simple it is actually to create quite a good looking UI, although I'm not very creative here. Just wanted to show you a lot more modifiers, not really putting them in a order which will give you a beautiful output, but just a random order at the moment. But in upcoming videos we'll create good views, and I hope you find this video informative so far, and I'll connect with you in the next one. Actually, in the next one we'll talk about shapes.